So yeah, episode 30 of Lego Marvel's Avengers, the second part of the Lego Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Level. Now we're in the bottom of what appears to be a S.H.I.E.L.D. base with two different agents than we had before. Now we have Leo Fitz right here, and unfortunately Leo Fitz, he attacks people with his laptop. He does not have a gun or any kind of attack that would make him more useful, which means that for the most part, we're going to run around as Agent Daisy Johnson, otherwise known as Quake, who we met in the first part of this level when she was sort of being co-opted by the bad guys. Now I guess she's back with the good guys, and we're going to use her. And first, we're going to try to get all the studs we can out of the bottom of this base. Now, Fitz's powers are kind of limited, although he does have one power that makes him somewhat more useful in the rest of the game. We'll get to that when we see it. But Agent Daisy Johnson, who originally joined the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a hacker named Skye, before discovering that she was indeed an Inhuman and being, I guess, reborn as one. There's lots of the storyline that I'm not all that familiar with, and you don't really need for getting through the game's levels and tropes. But what I thought was amusing about Agent Daisy Johnson, or Quake, as I'll probably call her a few times in this playthrough, is that in the first Lego Marvel Superheroes game, there was a PA announcement on the helicarrier, where a guy who was talking to, another S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, and he thought the PA system was off, but instead he started talking about his date with an Agent Johnson. Part of me likes to think that that was meant to be a reference towards Agent Johnson, or Agent Daisy Johnson of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., who would have been a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent named Johnson. But again, it was probably just a generic name call out. But if you're ever playing Lego Marvel Superheroes again and you run across that PA announcement, you got to be on the helicarrier to hear it. You can now sort of appreciate that a little bit more. All right, so we've got this guy who's sort of warping around and causing problems. There he is. And we have to fight him off. And we're trying to trap him in this sort of generator that we're going to create with these three panels. And now we're introduced to one of Fitz's other powers. He is a tech head. And evidently the warpy guy decided he was going to warp right into us as we try to figure out how to get these batteries right to balance the power and stuff. So the first battery needed to be raised to half capacity. And then the second battery needed to be lowered to half capacity, and then you can figure out what to do with the third battery. So that they all are operating at the same power level. And that powers up the first of the three little platforms or stanchions or whatever that we need to trap the warpy guy in the middle. So we're wandering around trying to get more studs. There are no enemies in this little area here other than the warpy guy. And so looking for is the second platform. Now, this box right here, this glowing greenhouse-looking box, is actually made of glass. That's why it's blinking. It's trying to give us the hint that we can use Daisy's inhuman powers to create quakes to shatter the glass around the box. It's going to take me a while to figure that out. And in the meantime, I'm going to go and collect more studs, because that is what I do. Now we can see a blue blinky box over here. In free play, that's an Ultron box. You can use Ultron to get that. Then we're going to go up here. And there's some more stuff to shoot. Unfortunately, the warpy guy is over around here too. I think his name might be Gordon. I could be wrong about that. Alright, and so now we're actually getting some assistance. There are shield agents coming in from the top of the building, and they are actually there to help us. They are not there to help Gordon, or whatever the name the warpy guy has is. They won't beat him, but they could keep him busy and stop him from hitting us, which would preserve our hearts and keep us from losing studs. Okay, so we need to jump. We pretty much cleared this area out, so we can start looking around, seeing if there's anywhere else we can go. Can't jump on those. So we're headed back to this area, headed to the shield computer terminal over here. Here's a frozen shield agent. Thank you, warpy guy, for him. He gave us a couple of studs for some reason when we spun him around. We can destroy some computer panels over here. You can see a gold frame that we could use a different character to get through in free play, but we can't do anything with it here. And after shooting the other two guys, again, because I was wondering if shooting all three of them produced a mini kit or something, we walk back over here, where I'm now going to try to jump on top of this box. But I find more studs, and so I get distracted by those for, a minute or so. And there's another couple boxes. I believe part of Daisy Johnson's skill set is acrobatics, so I think you are able to do the double jumps like you could do with Agent May or Agent Simmons. And we blow up this water heater or whatever it is because studs. And you can see a med bay or a science lab or something in the background. That will be useful to us later in the level. We can access it right now, but there's a point. Right now I'm stuck on this box. This box that is glowing to insist that it is a kind of box that you would need, like Hawkeye arrow to destroy. But unfortunately, the glowy boxes like that also sort of remind me of Ultron, so I can't. Not entirely certain that that's where I'm supposed to go. Doing some more shooting around for studs, more fighting off of Gordon, and finally going to head over to this computer terminal. Now again, I have no Hydra agent with me, so I can't access the Hydra thing. And what do you know? I need a repair guy. And this is what Leo Fitz can do for you that makes him actually useful in free play in the main game. Other than Tony Stark, he is the only character I'm aware of that has repair powers. So he can be a mechanic, and we've now put two of these things together. So now we need to put the last one together, and it has to do with this thing over here. And again, even though I'm perfectly aware of Daisy Johnson's power to destroy glass, it's not occurring to me that that's what the game wants me to do. So I jump on top of the box. There's nothing going on here, so I can't jump into the box. I'm going to run away from Gordon for a little while. Okay, so he ran away. We've done what we need to do there. I found more stuff to destroy over here, a couple of vending machines. Get some more studs out of those. And at this point, I better figure out what I'm going to do. Or I need to figure out what we need to do here, or else I'm going to have to answer to the Coca-Cola company, because this is just not working. Okay, so hitting some stuff. Jumping around. And finally, I figure it out right there. And that really gives us access to this generator or this turbine or whatever. Interestingly, I'm not sure that Agent Johnson's power does anything to hurt people, but I could be wrong about that. I didn't use Agent Johnson enough in combat to explore that idea. Alright, so now Gordon's trapped in his little thing, but he's created some poison gas, and we can't have that around. So we're going to go into the med bay here and look for stuff to deal with the poison gas. There's a mini kit right there. We're going to grab that one. And then we're going to wreck the med bay for the purposes of gaining more studs. And in the background, you can see that the medbay also holds Cal Johnson captive. Now, Cal Johnson is Daisy Johnson's father. He is another Inhuman. He turns into an alter ego called, I believe, Mr. Hyde. And so, it's hardly a good idea that we've got him stuck behind that wall, so I'm not trying to release him per se. We're getting much closer to true Avenger status here. Now, one interesting thing about this level, there really has not been a lot of enemies in this level. I mean, there were a few Inhumans, I think, in the China part, but haven't been a lot of opportunities to gain modifiers for your stud count. So you really are reliant on picking up any stud you can find in order to make it out of this level with true Avenger status. And there you can see I'm actually learning. So I use her earthquake powers to destroy the medicine cabinet, get a few more studs. Here's a handle, but there's no sign for an input. Yeah, see, I can't grab it. Okay, so I try shooting Gordon. I try shooting his... I jump inside. Probably not a good idea. I knock him out. And that seems to trigger an event where all of a sudden here's our pal Phil Coulson. Of course, you already know that Phil Coulson was brought back to life at the beginning of the TV series Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in order to lead a new S.H.I.E.L.D. team, and then ultimately take over the agency when it was destroyed in Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier. Coulson is the guy who Nick Fury taps in order to rebuild the agency in a proper manner. And so Coulson is trying to do that and running into problems, with the Inhumans, with other S.H.I.E.L.D. groups who don't share his vision, and such. But yeah, we get to see Agent Coulson here. Unfortunately, Gordon ran off with Agent Johnson. So we don't get to use her anymore. And the version of Coulson that we have here is the grenade and pistol version. And it turns out those things in the middle can hurt you. So, now that gave us an achievement. There's a game achievement related to having Coulson die and respawn, because it's a callback to the fact that that's what happened in the cinematic universe. Okay, I'm shooting this fan, and it's giving me lots of studs. And now it's not giving me any more. So I go into the med bay, and now this scene activates. Cal Johnson becomes Mr. Hyde. And once he does that, he breaks out. And there's not much you can do about that. There's also now toxic waste on the floor, and ordinary people can't run through toxic waste. You need to have a Hulk character or a Hulk-like character to do it. If this were free play, you could go through there with the Hulk, you could go through there with She-Hulk. You could even go through there with Radioactive Man. But right now, you just have to let Mr. Hyde throw stuff around for us to build things out of. And so we're going to build a containment unit for him. The only thing is that we need him to get in the thing. Oh, well, that was nice of him. So now we need to... Yep. Now we've got the box closed on him, so we just need to activate some Avenger stuff. I'm running over here just to see if there's anything in his room that I can break and get more studs out of, like this vending machine. see if we can just possibly get over the required amount that we need for a True Avenger bonus on those studs. And the answer, unfortunately, is that no, we won't be able to. We won't be able to get True Avenger bonus on this level here. We'll have to come back and free play and try to do it then. But let's go, and we'll need Leo Fitz in order to get access to his laptop, which will serve as our PDA for this portion of the game, and maybe get us a few more studs, maybe get us ever so closer to getting that True Avenger bonus. And there's something for Leo to repair. Wait, no, never mind, I take it back. We just need to activate it. So, here we go. Just got to press the B button enough to securely clamp him in there. And that brings us to the end of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. level. And we'll be back into the main Age of Ultron storyline starting next episode. So I'll see you then.
With Zabo on our side and S.H.I.E.L.D. finally working as a team, the rest was just cleanup. This is not the last we'll see of the Inhumans, but at least our team made it out intact. Where's Simmons?